Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pets or Family. I'm Tricia Montgomery, along with
Jessica Abernathy,
your host for this fun and informative video podcast where we talk about the real issues that matter to you as pet parents and way more. How do you make your pets feel like family? Hello, love.
Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is.
I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is, but we are here.
Right? All I know is
we're back.
Yeah, I was going to say, all I know is it's gross out again. I swear. I just want a warm day. I can't wait for that to happen, but we'll see.
Come on down to see me. We had heavy, crazy thunderstorms, tornado-like weather last night, and a little bit warm and humid here. So if I start sweating, don't blame me.
I know. And this episode's going to be dropped in the middle of May. So, I mean, I keep trying to remind myself, Mayflowers are coming. Mayflowers are coming, Jessica. Mayflowers. And I love flowers. You know? Mayflowers are coming, Jessica. Mayflowers, you know. And here in a couple months, I'm going to be complaining about the heat.
It gets better. Somebody used to say to me, it never gets better than this. Never, ever, ever gets better than this. So just remember that. So, you know, each day is just another beautiful day and it never gets better than this. So, yeah. How the heck are you? How's my favorite cat, Bin Laden? Is he terrorizing the neighborhood?
He is. He's terrorizing the house. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not the only animal in the house, but he thinks he is. But, you know, I have a dog, Teddy, and Teddy's gone blind this year. And he just likes to pick on Teddy. And it just cracks me up. Like Teddy comes in from going outside, going to the bathroom, and Bin Laden is just like this, right by the sliding glass door. He gets up and goes, oh, you know, poor Teddy's just like, I just want to get my treat and go. Like, leave me alone.
I find that interesting because I guess I was under the misassumption that animals had that spidey sense, that sixth sense to where they protected each other, even if it was a dog or a cat, that they wouldn't necessarily terrorize them, that they would know if there was an ailment, really protect them. So that's a new one for me, that he continues to just terrorize the neighborhood. And then the Michael Jackson song came into my head, terrorize y'all's neighborhoods. So I won't sing it, but
you know what? It's interesting because Teddy doesn't act any different. The only difference for him is he just runs into things on the regular.
I run into things too.
Yeah. So, it's the only difference. Every once in a while, he might go bumping into the refrigerator or, you know, like we don't move anything anymore. You know what I mean? And we keep his little paths that he has. We keep them clear. But other than that, or he might bark because he puts himself in a corner in the kitchen, but other than that, he's the same. You know, he does the same routine with everything. So I don't know if Benny recognizes that he's blind.
I'm just going to keep reminding others that I'm not going blind. I just like to bump into stuff. So.
Oh yeah, he just cracks me up. But this summer we're going to try to leash train him. That's one of the things we're going to try to get him outside. And
can you bring him out sometime so we can visit with him, just so people actually know that he's a cat, and then they can get a feel for who he is? Or can we get a picture of him up in this episode? Can we just show him somewhere possibly?
Yeah, maybe towards the end. I'll see if I can get him sauntering in, see if I can get the door open. He'll just come crawling in, trust me, and I can pick him up. You guys can meet him. So yeah, I'll try to do that at the end of this. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to virtually meet him. And I bet our audience would love to meet him too. So yes, we've heard so much about him. So I think that maybe I'm going to look for some sponsors from Bin Laden. I'm just calling out people right now that if you want to sponsor a terrorist cat named Bin Laden, you got my email, Tricia@petsorfamily.net. Contact me, call me. Let's get this cat an agent, okay?
Yeah, it's so funny because when I called the vet, we had to get him into the vet, his first time into the vet. And they're like, what's your cat's name? I'm like, Bin Laden. She's like, I'm sorry, excuse me? And I'm like, his name is Bin Laden. And they're like, so seriously, who named him? I'm like, we did. And she's like, really? She just started laughing. She's like, no, seriously, what's his name? I'm like, Bin Laden.
Seriously.
It's really Bin Laden. She just started laughing. I'm like, it's okay. Go ahead and laugh. She's like, oh my God, you named your cat. I'm like, it's no different than naming your cat.
Right.
No offense to anybody, if you ever, but people name their cats after cartoons and food.
Yep.
Marshmallow, apple, Tonka. I mean, it's like,
yeah. I was with my friend Jane Dunn. She's the president of Paws Humane Society, but I saw her a couple of weeks ago, and she fostered this cat from Paws Humane Society. His name is Melvin. He is like a dog, just like Bin Laden, I think that you were mentioning. And he is like the fattest cat, and he just gets up on your lap. He snuggles, he cuddles. That's the kind of cat I want. I don't want the sneak attacks. I don't want the cats that come out and like bat you out of the nowhere. I used to have two cats named Kit and Caboodle, and they were just like the wildest cats in the entire world. I don't think I got a lick of sleep, just crazy. So yeah.
I have a friend of mine from back in my 20s. So, the poor kitty's not alive anymore, but
Right.
He had a barn cat he named Dog. So he would go out on the porch and yell, Dog. Everybody would expect a dog to come, but it was a cat. People have like the funnest names, so I just don't understand why Bin Laden is so odd.
I have no idea. Not at all. Not at all. It's called the Secret Security. Call the White House, CAI, whatever it's called.
CIA, you mean?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Jessica, this is like a special episode we're on. And the reason we're doing this is because, we want to talk about the things that make us go,
It's a great title. Things that make us go,
Yeah. If you could pick one thing within, because remember, guys, we've really been we have been part of animal welfare, the veterinary profession, and the pet industry for, not to date ourselves, but for a while now. And it's interesting.
I'm 25 plus, you know what I mean? I just, I repeat that number often.
I am too. And I'm going to take you back to a time when I was with the Chicago Veterinary Medical Association, when actually there were arguments about the ads and the size of ads for phone books. So that'll tell you something about how long I've been in this profession. And there were issues, and just it was a really big deal that perhaps Clinic A had a bigger Yellow Pages ad than another animal hospital, ABC Animal Hospital. And you saw this shift of change, and you've seen it over the years. But one thing that has always stayed true within the veterinary profession, veterinarians, VMDs, DVMs, veterinary technicians, is a standard of excellence. And
I think that's in every one of our industries. I mean, a lot of our industries the pet industries are not regulated, but the industry itself has a standard of excellency. Wow, that was not easy to say for me, but we hold ourselves to a standard that we hold ourselves higher than the government would, or whoever created them, but we hold ourselves very high.
Yeah. And why is that, Jessica? What do you think that?
Because we care and we're passionate about our industries. I'm not talking about just you and I'm talking about everybody in our industry. We all care. It's a blood, sweat, and tears in any of the industries. We put a lot into it. We want the standards to be high. I think it's just because we want people to understand that this isn't a hobby. We don't just sit around and play with kittens all day. I wished we did. You know what I mean? Because they would embarrass names if I did, so I'd have to go around the room. But
I think somebody at one time likened it to playing with puppies and unicorns and rainbows. And it is most certainly not that. I remember starting way back in the veterinary profession, and I got married to a doctor, and it was very interesting. This esteemed nephrologist actually went to school less time than a veterinarian did. And I found that very interesting. And wait, hold the phone. Sorry. Wait, he was a what? Wait, first of all, what did he do? I don't think I understood what you said he did. He was a nephrologist, and he was specialized in kidneys. So he was basically one of the best in the nation. Yeah, he was a nephrologist.
So he's a kidney doctor, and he's a specialist.
Yes.
And he went to school less than a veterinarian.
That's correct. Yeah, because people don't realize that veterinarians have to go to, it's really like 8 years. And then you're not even talking about externships and all these different things. And if you want to be a specialist, that's something else. And I think that there's a lot of times at one point, veterinarians were below from like a used car salesman or something like that. And I think that it's been a buildup over the decades that we've seen, but still from the professionalism and the respect, we're still working on that. Veterinarians, I believe, are still working on that. And I love what we're doing. What I like about you, what I love about us, I always go into song. What I love about us is that we talk about these things and from a standard of excellence to share with pet parents the things that they may not know. And I think as this podcast is about pet parents and educating pet parents, there's some things going on that they may need to know about.
There's so much that people don't know. I mean, it's insane, but I mean, I came into this industry a long time ago too, in a far off land. I'm not going to age myself at all because I'm 25 plus. Anyway, but I get it. I mean, as I've been in the industry for years, as I learned things as I went along, I was like, seriously? Yeah. I've been a pet parent for a long, long time too. And there's things that I'm just like, I didn't know, but I went into the industry and I learned as I went. I remember having a business in this industry and I didn't know and I had the business probably for 10 years before I learned there was even an association for the industry. And then after being in the association, there's an association, and I'm sorry to run off, but there's an association for everything. I mean, when I say for everything, there's an association for needle points. And I was like, seriously? Ooh, whoops. Oh, my laundry's done. We're human. That's what that alarm's for. But there's an association for everything. And I was like, seriously, needle point? I never in my wildest dreams thought about finding an association. I have a pet sitting company. A lot of folks don't know that. You know what I mean? I come from the other side of this industry. And I did not know there was a professional association for professional pet sitters. And I found it and I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. And you know that I currently serve on the board. You know what I mean? And I was just like, wow. Like I said, how would you know? As a pet parent, I didn't even know. Now I'm trying to educate pet parents about the importance of knowing about these things. It's right. Sorry, right. I went on a tangent. No. Because I think that no. But I think that's so important because we're going to touch upon that, I think, in a couple of weeks, because what does it mean to be a pet sitter? Well, so what? What do I have to know? It's just a dog. It's just a cat. I mean, it's no big deal. I'm just going to walk him. Bullshit. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'll just mark this one not kid friendly, or I'll make a comment. There's a cuss word in it. It is very important. And I think that when you think about standards of excellence, when you think about children walking dogs that are twice their age, and it's like, oh, my son can babysit or my daughter can babysit. Oh, we can take care of that. That's a huge issue because that's a liability. Right. Trust me, I can totally get on my soapbox with this one. I mean, because you know that you asked me a question. You're like, can we do this? And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, what are you thinking? But you come from a different side of the industry and you're educating me. We talked about it recently because you're working with the veterinarian side and you were telling me about there's a regulation or they're voting on something on the VA or vet tech side. And I don't understand it, but I'm getting educated too about this. And I think think it's important that we do learn. And I'm learning as we're educating the pet parents as we go. And it's important that we all learn all this. It is extremely important. And I don't think that people think about that enough, Jessica. I just kind of looked up because I really wanted to pull this up. And as you can tell, guys, we're really human. We edit. We are. And we're not going to edit this one for you. This is also when you and I get together, we talk things that are that we're passionate about and things that we believe are important. And I think we're hoping that you find them as important as we do. And again, our line, we're an email away.
But there's something going on right now I believe it's in Washington State, that there is a large veterinary clinic, Cascade Veterinary Clinics, and they are trying to get just a certification program passed through their organization. And they are trying to bypass basically NAVTA. And
okay, but really quick before you keep going, but what is NAVTA? Because you know what I mean?
Yeah. And first of all, I want to give a thank you to our friend Becky Mosser, who brought this to our attention. I can believe she's the incoming president for NAVTA, and Phil Russo. NAVTA, guys, for those of you who don't know, it is the National Association of Veterinary Technicians in America. And from a standpoint of upholding the standards of excellence for licensed veterinary technicians, how important that is. And right now, there is an organization called Cascade Veterinary Clinics, and they're trying to pass through this certification program. I believe they did it with Washington State, and they did it in I believe, a kind of a roundabout way, where they actually got the first round passed through, and then everybody found out about it, and they're going to be voting on this again in June. But people are trying to get it stopped. So, Jessica, why would I want, and for heaven's sake, a certified veterinary technician? What's the difference? What's the big deal? Talk to me. Why is that a big deal? Well, anybody can do that, right?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, from what I'm being taught, from the conversations you and I have, the vet techs are the people that meet us in the waiting, or not in the waiting room, but in the rooms when we get escorted back to the patient room. They're the ones that come there and do the assessment with the pet parent. They're the equivalent of a very skilled nurse, a physician assistant, depending on their degrees. They take them into the back, and then the vet and them do all the work. I don't believe they do operations. They can't do that. And they can assist in surgery for those who are credentialed in RVTs. Yeah, that's where that nurse and the physician assistant comes in, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then they come back and they talk to us and they tell us care. But most pet parents just think it's an orderly, just somebody that pushes the pet around. And it's not true. I really thought that for a little while too. I just thought they were just the person that, collected the animals, took it in the back and brought them and dropped it off to the vet. But I've learned that they're the nurse. They're the physician assistant. They're the ones that I really want to talk to, because they're the ones that they give you the time. They're the ones that sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes with you. And the vet comes running in and runs back out. So they're the ones that are going to be the ones that really listen to you and help get the diagnosis or figure out what's really wrong with you. I think from an education standpoint, when we go out and we talk to a veterinarian, we schedule an appointment and we see the very first person, obviously, is more than likely that the office manager, the clinic manager. Then we go in and we're greeted by the veterinary technician, which is a certified veterinary technician or a registered veterinary technician. There's just different classifications as they go through their credentials through veterinary technician program. But remember, when you look in terms of diagnosis, you're going by what that pet parent is telling you. Right. It might be anthropomorphism. And for those of you who do not know what anthropomorphism is, I'm going to tell you right now, anthropomorphism. It simply means that my feelings are reflected, my feelings become the dog. So like, oh my God, you're so hungry. Are you hungry? Oh, you're so hungry. I know his left foot is hurting. I know, his stomach was hurting. I pushed it and, I know, whatever. So we, the veterinarians, the veterinary technicians are going by the pet parent, because again, that dog, that cat, that equine, whatever animal, they can't go, it's right over here, doc, can you look at it right here? I'm having some issues, they can't. So they're going by their knowledge, their education, and what the pet parent is telling them. Why do I say that? Education is so very important. Biology was not my favorite little subject in school, neither was math. I'm not, I guess, whenever my checkbook, as long as the numbers in my checkbook went up, I had more money in my account. That's when I look at math. So all those things that make them so great
and the education and all of those things, it's incredibly important. So this initiative or this push through, they are trying to allow a large veterinary clinic organization, or veterinary clinics to have their own certification program, thereby bypassing for NAVTA and the American Veterinary Medical Association. I find this just disturbing. And coming from the background in the Chicago Veterinary Medical Association many, many years ago, it is standards of excellence, and they're caring for our pet parents. And you and I had a discussion yesterday or day before yesterday about people give advice all the time, the internet and our social media and our Facebook friends. Oh, I've got a solution for that. Oh, she's not eating. Oh, have you tried that? We're so quick to give advice, but are you going to those that have the professionals?
And that's
the professionals.
Yeah, I mean, because no offense, Dr. Google is not always right. If I listened to Dr. Google with last year I've had with all the medical issues I've had, I would have been dying 18 times over. It's just Dr. Google would have me buying my coffin and picking out my burial plot and getting that couch, sit here. I got free Wi-Fi. That's what I told you. I'm putting that on my tombstone.
And Jessica, what's going to be on my tombstone?
Let me share my screen. That's what, Tricia, if you ever get into a Zoom or any kind of Zoom meeting with Trisha's first thing, let me share my screen. Tricia loves to share her screen. It's a joke.
I love to share my screen. I think that's important, though, from when you look at the advice and also chat platforms, just for AI, all of these different platforms, they can be dangerous too. Because for all the good that they're bringing us and the time-saving things that they're offering to us, they can be scary because they're grabbing that first bit of information from Google, and that could be the most searched topics. It can be whatever. And I think we have to be very, very, very careful with it. So I guess the message that from this thing for Washington State and NAVTA, which is, again, a National Association of Veterinary Technicians of America, is, when you go to see the next veterinary clinic appointment that you go to, when you take Fido or Fluffy or Bin Laden to the veterinarian, ask,
right,
what are the credentials behind the veterinary technicians that are part of this clinic?
Right.
Who are they? Where did they go to school? Are they credentialed? Are they certified? Are they registered veterinary technicians? What's happening within the clinic that you are in, and who is taking care of your fur babies, who's taking care of your best friend, and making sure that those credentials are in there. I believe the closing time is as already shut for writing letters to Washington State. But keep watching. I really encourage you to watch this and see more. Jessica, I think you and I also had a conversation recently about there are many organizations right now that are claiming to be experts in animal behavior, in different items of things that impact not only our animals, but our communities.
And I think you and I've talked about that too. And it's like, what makes you an expert? You know what I mean? What makes you an influencer? What makes you? You know what I mean? And we're trying to figure out some of that stuff, but I think we should save that for, another conversation, because we're already at almost a half an hour and we don't want them to stop listening to us.
Don't stop listening. Don't stop listening.
I am trying to see if we can get Bin Laden up here.
Yeah, I want Bin Laden. We want Bin Laden. Guys, thanks for listening to us. We're going to be, again, dropping these special episodes whenever we feel inclined to do so, maybe once a month for you guys, letting you know kind of our passions, maybe our peeves, the things that make us go, And we want to hear from you. What are topics of interest to you? What are some things that maybe you don't understand as a pet parent? Is there something that you need a little bit of knowledge on? Is there something that you would like an answer on? Let us know. We're interested in hearing from you because this is all about you and pet parenting.
Oh, I just got the okay. So I think Bin Laden's on his way.
Bin Laden's on his way. I cannot wait to see Bin Laden because, I've never met Bin Laden. But for those of you who may not know it, Jessica, you also have another cat named Harry.
Harry's the good cat. Yep, he's a barn cat. Both of the cats are rescues, just so you know.
Okay.
We raised Benny from a day old. So he was a bottle baby. Harry, we adopted him at PetSmart. So I don't know. I don't remember the organization he got adopted from. But he's huge. I think he's half Maine Coon because he's bigger than my Shih Tzu, and my Shih Tzu is 21 pounds. So,
oh my God.
Yes, and he's taller and bigger than my Shih Tzu, and he's about 23. And the vet would like him to lose about a pound or two, but he's got a belly on him, but he doesn't look fat, but his head is like 3 times bigger. Bin Laden's. Bin Laden is only about 11 pounds. He's small.
Oh my gosh.
But Bin Laden is normal size, and Harry's just like, good George, he's huge, and when I took him to the vet and I said, I think he's half Maine Coon, and she agrees. She thinks he's Maine Coon because how big he is. So he's big. And then we have Teddy. So here he comes. Come here, Benny. Hey, buddy.
I can't wait to see. Oh my goodness gracious. Who do we have there? There she goes, disappearing. And there she is again. Oh, hi. Hello.
He's got to lick me.
Is that Bin Laden?
Yeah, sorry, he's giving me kisses first.
Hello, Bin Laden. How are you?
Look over there. Say hi.
Hi.
So he's a gray and white tabby.
Oh, Jessica, he does not look like a terrorist at all. Bin Laden, you do not live up to your name.
Give him a minute. Look at me. I'm like, move my face away. I'm like, give him a minute. He's like, should I bite you or should I not? He'll bite in a minute.
I think you're making this up, Jessica. I think you are making up. Jessica, his entire head has disappeared. He's looking really creepy like that darn cat.
There's a lot of scratches and bruises and bite marks on all of us. I mean, he likes to run up behind me and crawl up and bite me in the butt. That's like his favorite pastime.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's one of his favorite things to do. He likes to.
I love him. Tell him to come see me. Come hang out with me.
But he's pretty good with me. He knows that he's not supposed to bite me. His tail's starting to flick, so I know I'm in trouble soon. He's pretty good with me because I do like a dog, and he's just
right.
He's like, okay, I can't do that.
I won't do it anymore, Mom.
Yeah. He's like, okay. So
there he goes.
Ready? All right, I'm gonna put him down. He also goes. Yeah, he's never allowed in my office either. So he's just like, oh my goodness. He wants to play around.
There you go. That story. So my mom loved cats, and when my dad passed away, she had Buddy, and then Buddy was my dad's cat, and then Buddy went with my mom, and then Buddy passed away, and so my mom decided to. And this is during the height of COVID. Decided to try and mail order a ragdoll cat that was like, I don't know, like $5,000. I get this text that said,
I mean, you could buy mail order cats. I mean, I've heard of mail order cats, but
and my mom was getting up there. She was, and it was, and my mom was a spitfire. She just was. She wanted something. I get this text and she said, if I die, will you watch my cat for me? And I go, Mom, you don't have a cat. And she goes, but I'm just getting one. I'm like, called my sisters and rounded everything up, calling the ragdoll cat company and whatever they were. And to cancel, it was just, oh my goodness gracious. It was just, yes, my poor mom. You can mail order.
So it was real. Like I was waiting for you to tell me it was a scam.
No, it was real. It was actually a real thing. I don't know if they drop ship them, if they, FedEx them, if they come in with a drone and drop it in their pet.
I really thought this was a new scam. I thought you were going to tell me it's a new scam. I'm like, I could see some people getting suckered into that one.
I wish it would have been a scam because I felt really bad calling the ragdoll cat lady and letting her know that the kitty cat was not coming to visit my mom at the independent living center where she was. So
mad props to them though. Though mad props to the mail order ragdoll people. I mean, they respected and they heard you.
They did. But then it's asking questions. So how old are you? Have you just gotten out of the hospital? Where do you live? Not just taking your money for $5,000. Questions, and
I have to say that for another day, but that is one of my pet peeves. My parents died and I know you come from the rescue world, but when rescues don't pay attention to age. My parents adopted 2 cats, and I had to sign with my parents saying that if my parents died, I would take the cats. Like, I had to sign when they adopted the paperwork saying I would take the cats, that they wouldn't be, they couldn't go into a shelter, couldn't go back to the shelter, that I would take them. And I'm like, okay, but I get it. And I thought that was responsible for the rescue. That I was actually impressed with the rescue, that they thought about that. You know what I mean? And my parents are in their early 70s. And I was like, all right. I was impressed by that, even though I was like, please. I'm like, Mom, you gotta live under the cats.
I got denied adoption one time when I was in Hinsdale, Illinois. Because I didn't have a backyard. I mean, I didn't have a fenced-in backyard. I had a backyard, but I didn't have a fenced-in backyard, and they didn't let me adopt, and they refused to adopt this dog to me and my husband, and just said, you can't adopt. And I tried to throw out I work for the Veterinary Association, and it didn't work. And but you know what? They're trying to do what
you're trying to do the right thing. And kudos. I mean, I'm not bashing any rescues. You know what I mean?
No,
kudos. Hard.
Yeah. It is hard. It is hard. And it's a thankless, as I said,
I gotta say, it's a thankless job.
It is a thankless job, and you're compassion fatigue, you're working, you see so much. So yeah. Jessica, this has been like an all around just great conversation. I'm glad we took the time to get together today and just
really, we're going to be good at this one.
We are going to be very good at this one. Absolutely. What are some things that we've got coming up here on Pets or Family?
Well, we got a friend of mine, Joan Burke, coming in. She's going to talk to us about barn hunting with her 3 dogs, Bonzi, Harvey, and Ruru. I love Ruru. You're not supposed to have favorites, like you don't have favorites with kids, but I love Ruru, and Ruru knows it. You can get away with anything.
Favorite child.
Yep, Ruru is my favorite. We have Isabel Alvarez coming. She's going to talk to us about traveling with your pets, and she's got a beautiful new cat that she just adopted. So that's really cool. Yeah. And that kudos to this rescue that she adopted from. I got to find out what rescue that is so we can give them a shout out, because she told them exactly what she was looking for, and they delivered. I mean, like,
that's wild. That's amazing.
Seriously delivered. We've got to
find that out.
Courtney. I can't remember.
Courtney Pierce, Executive Director for Paws Humane Society. Yeah, she's going to come on and talk to us about everything that's going on, animal welfare, and what they're doing at Paws Humane Society. They've got some really cool programs for keeping pets in the family.
Yes, and then we have Jennifer Myers this coming week. She's going to be, or not this kind. We have Jennifer Myers. We're going to have her on. She's going to be on before this episode airs. So
okay.
Yeah, so we know that. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff out there, so we're excited.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for being with us. Thanks for listening to us. I know this might have been a little bit of soapbox for us, or a little bit of a pet peeve, or a episode, but we appreciate you listening. And again, we're here. Reach out. You have any questions or need anything, we're a text away, because
we're always here. We're here to
our
help.
family.
Yes, they are our family. Even Bin Ladens of the world are our family.
Absolutely.
So, have a great one, guys. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye. We hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Spotify or wherever you're listening to us today. If you want to reach out to us, feel free to find us on petsourfamily.net. or any of our social channels, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And we want to remind you, pets are family. Have a good one. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.